This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And this afternoon on the banks of the Ohio, we're at the Great American Ballpark. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. Welcome to the broadcast booth. That's Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And Jim Hayes is with us as well. The Cardinals trying to bounce back after falling last night late. Miles Michaelis pitched well. And Jimmy, they'll turn to Jack Flaherty. His last two starts, he's been very good.
Yeah, he's been very good, but hasn't had a win in his last 10 starts. But we all know what he's capable of. He's got a great fastball, a great slider. He's got to keep his pitch count down, try to stay out there as long as possible, give his team a chance, and also give that bullpen a rest.
The 14 innings, the 5 hits. That first of those 2 games we're speaking of, he had a no-hitter with 1 out in the 7th against the Giants. So this time of year, you take a look at the standings, and the Cardinals half game back in Milwaukee, 3.5 out in the Central Division. Reds with a win last night. They're in the cellar and 9 back. Anthony DeSclafani, Jack Flaherty, Reds Cardinals. The finale of this 4-game set. Baseball comes your way next. City of Cincinnati is up the 4-game set. The Cardinals and the Reds. Jim Hayes, Jim Edmonds, Dan McLaughlin with you. It's 92 degrees. Feels like 101. It is muggy. It is hot. The banks of the Ohio in a river town here in Cincinnati. We know a thing or two about that, don't we?
Yes, we do. Looking forward to this nice day out here. Look at those youngsters on the field waiting for their Cincinnati Reds ball club to come out and maybe get a little autograph. There's some little ones out there today.
Well, maybe even lift some weights with them, too.
There you go.
As we saw that a few moments ago, the 1961 throwback uniforms as they celebrate 150 years of baseball, and throughout the season they are wearing different versions of their uniform over the years.
They are pumping you up.
No, Jimmy.
Yes, they are. Look at those guys getting ready. There's only a couple guys out there without sleeves.
Cardinals lineup: Edman, Fowler, Ravello, then Tyler O'Neill, Paul DeYoung, Jairo Munoz, Kisner, Bader, and the pitcher batting ninth, Jack Flaherty. Arcia give it everything concerning the Cardinal leadoff man, Tommy Edman. He had 3 hits last night. He's got a grand slam in this series. The last 4 games, 7 for 17, a home run. All 4 runs batted in with 1 swing. The only grand slam the Cardinals have hit this year. He's also scored 5, and Arcia give it everything. Anthony DeSclafani did not receive a decision his last time out. That was Tuesday at Wrigley. Cubs would win that game in 10 innings, 4-3. His record in 18 starts is 5-4. And he's really had issues with his curveball, and that's something to keep an eye on. He's throwing it fewer and fewer times as we go along in this season, and there's only 3 other pitchers that have allowed a higher slugging percentage on a curveball this year than Anthony DeSclafani. So keep that in mind as this game goes along.
And you saw that Hyundai pitch arsenal with a lot of fastballs, a little bit of slider, a little bit of curveball, a little change, but going to throw you some fastballs to hit. Got to be ready.
Take a look at our Toyota key to the game.
Just basic, Danny. You got to win this series. This is getting down to crunch time. Got to find a way to get it done today. Find a way to get it done.
And the lineup with some of the regulars out, like Wong and Paul Goldschmidt. Martinez has been a regular for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So here we go. A couple of switch hitters at the top in the first with Edman and Fowler, and then Ravello, who was just called up. And the first pitch is taken for a strike, and we're underway in game number 98 of this regular season. Well, if you're into sabermetrics and really diving into the numbers of the game, lowest spin rate on a curveball is owned by Anthony DeSclafani.
Interesting.
The next to Tommy Edman, ripped foul.
That would lead to one of his weaknesses would be doesn't throw a lot of curveballs for strikes.
That would be it.
He's got a .324 batting average against.
Yep.
On that curveball.
Off to Pittsburgh after the ball game today, where it's supposed to be a little cooler than what we've had here this last couple of days in Cincinnati. Reds currently missing Tucker Barnhart, Kurt Casale. Kyle Farmer was unavailable on Wednesday, evaluated for a concussion. So behind the plate again, Ryan LaVarnway, and that tails back in for a strike, and that's how we start the game. And LaVarnway drove in 6 in his Reds debut. Round the horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Van Meter, Winker, and Puig in the outfield. Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette, and Votto on the infield. LaVarnway is behind the plate. And it brings in Dexter Fowler. And there's strike one. 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts in this series.
Dexter is one of those players that really didn't want the All-Star break to come. Swinging the bat pretty good, and ever since the break, it's been a little bit of a struggle. He's got to get back into rhythm.
He's had 13 strikeouts in 9 games since the All-Star break. One is pulled foul way out in front. There's another 1-run game last night so far this year. Cardinals 13 and 15 in those 1-run games. And they've been playing tight games since the break. 8 of the 9 have been decided by 3 runs or less. And also required a save. And it's taken high.
Well, if you're the closer, you like that. To go out there and pitch.
If you're the team, you like it. That means you're having a chance to win some games. 2-2 to Fowler, and he strikes out. So 2 away, and it brings in Ravello. He's talking with Mike Schilt today in his office about Ravello getting called back up. Ryan Helsley sent back down, and Jim will have news on more moves, but I asked Mike if Ravello was playing third base down at AAA when he went back down, and he said, yeah, that's the case. And I said, well, what's the reasoning behind that? Ravello has played a little outfield as well, and he said, we're just trying to get him as versatile as he possibly can be if we need to maneuver.
Well, he's got some kind of swing, so they want to try to get him in the lineup somehow.
On the mound today for St. Louis, Jack Flaherty coming up. Very good starts back to back. What's he have in store today? The right-hander start 20 today. Record sits at 4-6, and the opposition hitting .231 against Jack. Hyundai pitch arsenal. What stands out for you, Jim Edmonds?
Well, that fastball and that slider, basically what he's going to use. He doesn't throw a lot of breaking balls. Shocked that it's even at 12%. But you know, he's just going to have to go out there and throw strikes. It's going to be a hot one, so hopefully he can keep the pitch count down, stay in this game as long as he can, and get himself a win. He hasn't had a win in 10 straight starts.
Winker at the top, then Votto and Suarez. A lot of lefties in this lineup. Puig, Van Meter, who homered last night, Scooter Gennett, Peraza, DeSclafani, and LaVarnway. So the pitcher batting 8th for David Bell. So the heat become an issue for Carlos Martinez 2 nights ago, and both starters had to deal with the heat last night. It's not just the fact that it's hot, but it's really muggy.
Muggy, and flags aren't really blowing. The wind blows a little bit in the outfield, but in the infield and around the plate area, there's no air blowing around at all. It just gets blocked by the stadium.
Last time the Cardinals starter faced the Cincinnati Reds, he had 7 scoreless innings, a 5-2 win back on the 28th of April in St. Louis. And good numbers for the most part against Cincinnati. His Winker has a foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Winker was taken with a compensation pick received by the Reds for losing their former catcher Ramon Hernandez. Had a very decorated amateur career. Baseball's U18 team USA. He was with Alex Bregman, Albert Almora, Carson Kelly, Joey Gallo, David Dahl, Addison Russell. How did they lose?
They were young.
Yeah. 3-2 the count. Lot of 3-2 counts as Flaherty goes deep into many of these at bats.
Well, and that's the thing he's got to really try to eliminate. Is really throwing a lot of pitches to each guy. Try to get some contact early. I know it's kind of sounds strange as you look at this last pitch, which looks like it was a strike, and Ed Hickox is saying no thank you. But eliminate those long counts, as he's definitely got to try and minimize that pitch count just to be able to stay out there. And I think that's why he's got a 4-8 record, is he hasn't been able to really get deep into games.
Here's Joey Votto. That last pitch is something that they're working on a lot with Andrew Kisner. Quiet with his hands behind the plate. You don't stab at it. You know, it's the soft hands, and sometimes that'll buy you a strike or two.
I think I said he was 4-8. He was 4-6. Sorry. Yeah, it's still an art of framing and catching strikes, and just nice and soft, and really stick the glove out there and basically stick the landing.
I'm amazed watching Molina time and again how quiet he is behind the plate. And that's hit out of play by Votto, drafted in the 2nd round in 2002. He's been around a long time. 6-time All-Star, MVP in 2010. But he has been quiet the last couple of years against St. Louis. He tore up the Cardinals in his initial years in the league, and the last 2 years combined, he's got 1 home run against St. Louis. Stats with Lowe's. Joey Votto against the Cardinals. 2014 through 17, the 15 homers and the high average. But last year combined with this year, a different story. And really, it's not just the Cardinals, but everybody he's seen a dip with. But still dangerous. Another check on the runner. Winker, who has no stolen bases this season.
I feel like watching him, he's really kind of cut down his swing a lot in the last couple years, and throw him a breaking ball here and there, and he's flipping the ball out there. And it seems like now all of a sudden they're just starting to challenge him and really making him be ready to go, and just pitching him in and hard.
Here's the 0-2 pitch by Jack Flaherty. Votto from Toronto, Canada. And although he's Canadian, he never really got into hockey. Says he was never truly able to master the art of skating. So his dad saw that and said, pick up a bat, and started his path in baseball. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He has the 2nd most hits by a Canadian-born player in the history of the game. Number 1 on that list, your former teammate Larry Walker, 2,160 hits. And I hope this time next year we're talking about Larry being in baseball's Hall of Fame.
Where he should be.
And the 1-2 to Votto is swung on and missed. A strikeout for Jack Flaherty, his first of the day.
Really good pitch right there. Good breaking ball. Short breaking ball. It's the kind that doesn't jump out of your hand for the hitter to see. Keeping it down right there. You can see there's no hump in it. It just goes and drops. It's the key. Getting a good big league hitter out.
And Eugenio Suarez. just celebrated his 28th birthday, and don't adjust your television set. That is his uniform, along with some others for today, sleeveless.
Well, he's got some sunblock on.
Wow. Yasiel Puig on deck. What do you think, Jimmy? Do you go sleeveless? You like that look?
I like it on them. I don't know if I could do it. I think it would bother me. I hated wearing those sleeveless shirts, even with the shirt underneath. Only had to do it a couple times, and it wasn't. I don't know. I just don't like the feel.
This has been a deal that has really worked out for the Cincinnati Reds. Traded by the Tigers to Cincinnati December of 2014. Sent Alfredo Simon to the Tigers, and this guy coming back. And this is an all-star player that the Cardinals cannot get out right now. Here's the 0-2, and that's pulled foul. He was a teammate of John Brebbia, all-star last year, and then represented Major League Baseball, the All-Star Tour in Japan this past November. John participated in that. He is from Venezuela, now lives in Miami because of the rough conditions back in his native land. But the 11th Venezuelan born player with a 30 home run season. Last year he popped 34. Good player.
Yeah, he is a good player. He's killed the Cardinals in the past.
Came up as a shortstop, and then he got here. Todd Frazier was also here with the Reds, and then he moved to third. And basically playing third base every day since the start of 2016. Here's the 0-2. There's that slider again. Back-to-back strikeouts. Cardinals defensively. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. O'Neill, Bader, and Fowler in the outfield. Munoz to Young, Edman, Ravello on the infield, and Andrew Kisner behind the plate.
And take a look at the sliders. Another good slider, short. Looks like a fastball coming out of the hand, and once you've thrown a couple of fastballs inside, they have to respect it and get that slider outside for a strike.
Here's Yasiel Puig.
Heard it from John Taylor.
Gotta wonder how many teams would have interest right now in Puig. His last 25 games, 362 the average, with 16 extra base hits. He's driven in 22. In the first 2.5 months, he hit 226. Got off to a terrible start initially. Free agent to be.
Interesting player.
Yep. Pitch number 18 here in the first inning to Puig. Two balls and one strike. Today is 40th career game against the Cardinals. He's got 17 runs batted in his last 17 against St. Louis. 3-1. Well, your former pitching coach talked about it all the time. Pitch to contact.
Yep.
That's how you're going to stay in games. Strikeouts are nice, but if you want to go deep, pitch counts have to stay low, and Cardinals are always going to be careful, like anybody else in baseball, with pitch counts and young pitchers. That was a ball. He chased it and did not go. So a couple of walks in the inning to go with 2 strikeouts and runners at first and second.
And walks and strikeouts will definitely are the 2 things that will get your pitch count up for sure. Trying to strike guys out, you'll throw some extra pitches trying to get them to chase, and then clearly walking a few guys is not going to help either.
Here's Van Meter, homered last night off of Miles Michaelis. He made a couple of poor pitches, and one of them to Van Meter that made it 3-1 after the Reds tied it up in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1. Cardinals did pick up a run, but that was it. 2 outs and 2 on. Van Meter in left field today. And there's ball 1.
Well, I think that this is actually not a bad pitch in the strike zone, but where he was standing on the plate was allowing him to get to that fastball that was up and in, and just a nice job of hitting, I thought. It's a tough pitch to hit.
I've seen some softball players in beer leagues look like this. Sleeveless.
Thanks.
Ready to hit home runs. Why not? I mean, that's what this league is all about now, right? Launch angle and power and home runs.
Homers. I like that they went to the effort to put the black stripe on the jerseys. I'm assuming that's for Mr. Robinson.
And he was the MVP, by the way, in 1961, the year that they were wearing this type of uniform. I don't know, some arms look a little better than others. But I'm not here to judge, Jimmy. I'm just here to call the balls and strikes. 1-2, the count on Van Meter. And to read the occasional promo. We got any promos, Brian? Not sure we're going to fit them in with this first inning. It's going pretty quickly. That's Brian Shapiro, our producer.
He's down there sitting under an umbrella, sweating somewhere.
Here's a 1-2.
I mean, this is a lot of pitches for Jack in this first inning. 25 pitches, but also you got your defense standing on the field too in this heat.
The point. I mean, there's got to be a sense of urgency, right? Let's go.
Yeah, it's getting flat.
Runners at first and second. And the 1-2 pitch to Van Meter just missed. 2-2. I don't know if you would agree with this, but to me, major league pitchers, and you definitely would know a lot more than I do, and so many people watching, but they give way too much credit to the hitter with a fastball. They stay away from throwing that fastball, and I think at times that happens with Jack.
Well, I think that happens on both sides of the ball too. I think the hitters give the pitchers too much credit, and the pitchers give the hitters too much credit. Throw a good pitch, hit your location like Carpenter says, execute the pitch you're supposed to throw, and take your chances.
And the 2-2 is popped up and foul. I'm sure today an emotional day for Chris Carpenter, one of his best friends in the world. Roy Halladay going into baseball's Hall of Fame in Cooperstown.
It's pretty cool thing. A lot of guys out there today going into the Hall of Fame.
Roy Halladay, author of a perfect game and no-hitter in postseason play. The no-hitter. 203 wins and a dominant starter, both with the Blue Jays and then the big trade that brought him to the Phillies. A couple of Cy Youngs, reinvented himself with Toronto along with Chris Carpenter, both reinventing themselves as Halladay would drop the arm angle, and then that's where he got all that great movement and sink.
Definitely a lot more movement with that arm angle down there. You saw that changeup they just showed for highlight.
The 2-2 pitch, Van Meter Lines it, and it's caught at second by Edman. He wasn't lulled to sleep. Nice play. Tommy Edman takes a hit and a run away from the Reds. O'Neill, DeYoung, Munoz coming up. Customers, as tomorrow, you will not be able to watch any Cardinals games on Fox Sports Midwest, but there's still time to take action. Call 1-866-FOX-FANS or visit keepmyhometeams.com. Tell Dish and Sling to keep all your favorite Fox Sports Midwest programming, including Cardinals baseball. Tyler O'Neill, Paul DeYoung, and Jairo Munoz. Now, will somebody say something, Jimmy, to Flaherty, whether it's a veteran, a teammate, the pitching coach, the manager, about, look, we know it's hot, we know it's steamy and muggy, we get it, but you got 80 other guys out there that are with you. You got to, and we want you to pick up the pace. We want you to have that presence on the mound. As O'Neill singles into center field.
If I was playing, I would just say, hey, pick up the pace a little bit. Let's go. We're dying out here. But I mean, clearly that pace is a little, it's a little slower, and he's just working on his own pace. But I think sometimes as a pitcher too, you can kind of get lost in what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish, and guys just don't want to throw fastballs right down the middle. So he's trying to work on stuff and move the ball around. But yeah, I think when you're a little bit slower pace guys like that in this heat, and especially for the rest of your guys, you want to keep them on their toes.
Now, as a manager, you wonder in this particular sport how you can pick up the pace. One, you can, get on your starter, but you don't want to see your ball club lulled to sleep on both ends. You think about starting a runner or hitting runs, things of that nature.
Well, and I'd also just concerned with Jack as far as pitch count.
There he goes.
Like to keep his pitch count down.
And a stolen base for Tyler O'Neill, his first of the year. I like that. It kind of sends a message that, hey, let's go. It's a big game.
Stole that easy.
Yep.
You even have to slide.
Well, you see that, and if the Cardinals get runners on, get them going.
They're going to run. Yep.
Paul DeYoung, a couple of home runs in this series, now up to 15. Shift on the left side, and that pitch misses. Timely home runs as well for Paul DeYoung. Off the foul pole. And then late in that comeback win for St. Louis. And they needed every run. Picked up 12 in game 2 after being down 7-0. A strike to DeYoung, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Also going into the Hall of Fame today, Mariano Rivera, Roy Halladay, Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, Lee Smith, and Harold Baines. Pitched 4 years did Lee Smith for St. Louis. Hit up the middle, but second baseman Jeanette with the shift. And the ground out moves O'Neill to third.
Not a bad out right there. Productive out. Almost a base hit, but move the runner over. Try to get him in right here.
Key at bat last night was Paul Goldschmidt not getting the run home from third with just 1 out. Cardinals lost by a run. There's Jairo Munoz, who got the start today at third base, hitting .288. Infield is drawn in. And the first pitch is strike. Munoz, not going to say it happens here, but has done a very nice job for the most part. In this day and age of a lot of strikeouts, I mean, he puts the ball in play.
Yeah, he's really been working on his contact, shortening the swing with 2 strikes. I just think he's done a really nice job of learning the game ever since he got here last year, and just has improved, I feel like, every time he goes out there.
Nothing in 2 the count. Munoz chokes up a bit, and he fouls it away. Cardinals continue their 8-game road trip, 4 games against the Pirates beginning tomorrow. After that, 11 games. Astros, Cubs, A's, Dodgers. So the next 2 weeks, very big, and that's why a game like today is important. As Munoz lines it foul. The winning percentage, I just did the numbers of those 4 teams, .603. Awfully good.
Some good teams.
Yep.
Could make or break the season right here next couple weeks.
Yeah. We have the trade deadline mixed in too. And the 0-2 pitch to Jairo Munoz again. Did not go. 1-2. And the next to Munoz in the dirt, kept in front by Lavarnway.
Good job by Mooney right there. Be patient. As a hitter, when you get down in the count, especially a guy on third, guys get a little anxious, get a little nervous, don't want to strike out. He's done a really nice job of shortening his swing, choking up, and just waiting for something to either hit or foul off, not being overly aggressive.
Here's a 2-2. And Munoz picks up a base hit into shallow right field. A knack for putting the ball in play. 1-0 Cardinals. He fouled off 2 pitches, took one up in the zone, took a ball, and then fights it off for that base hit.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you try to put the ball in play right here. Nothing special, just keep putting the bat on the ball. If it makes a good pitch, because the infield is in, this ball falls for a base hit.
Well, let's see if the Cardinals want to run with Munoz, who's got 4 stolen bases this year. DeSclafani thinking the same thing. Cardinals have won 6 of their last 8, averaging nearly 6 runs a game. Reds on the other side have dropped 8 of their last 11. Their pitchers ERA near 6 over that span. And it's hit up the middle, base hit just past Jeanette. Munoz stopping at second base. Andrew Kisner picks up a single into center field. The more I watch him play, the more I like him, Jimmy.
Yep. Never seeing a fastball you don't like right here. High fastball up out of the zone, but he didn't try to do too much. He just stays balanced and tries to hit it back up the middle and get rewarded.
So the mound visit gives us time to tell you can watch every out of market regular season game live or on demand MLB.tv. And that subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium. You can stream live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Eighth place hitter here, Bader, and then Jack Flaherty. Tyler O'Neill with that stolen base was advanced to third on the ground out, and the steal made him the 15th different Cardinal with a stolen base this year. Most in baseball. 15 different guys have a stolen base. Boston second with 13.
Got a little breeze kicking up now. At least it's on a little bit.
What a jump
cooler
by Jairo Munoz. He could have walked to third. The trail runner Kisner, you have to make sure he's truly going. He was, and it's a double steal.
Well, this is all about the coaching staff right here. They pick up little signs with the pitcher, and maybe he doesn't look back twice, or he doesn't look all the way back, and when he turns his head to go to the plate, that sometimes means he's going to the plate.
So that's now 16 different Cardinals with a stolen base. Kisner picks up his first, Munoz his fifth, and it's runners at second and third. Now it does leave first base open with Flaherty on deck.
I'm not sure why he squared around right there.
These are the at-bats the Cardinals have talked about that have frustrated them and Bader. Runner at third, less than 2 outs, and trying to get that runner home.
Oh, you just can't take pitches. You've got to get a pitch in the zone and swing at it. Try to stay on it. Try to stay up the middle. Just got to hit a simple fly ball right here, and it's just, I think sometimes guys make it a little too difficult. Make it difficult on themselves by trying to be perfect. If I'm the manager, I don't even allow him to throw a pitch right here. Just tell him to move on.
The 3-1 pitch, and Bader grounds it to third under the glove of Suarez. A run will score, and it went right under his glove. 2-0 Cardinals. That's an error on Suarez, his 12th, and no run batted in for Bader. Just right under the glove. He wanted to make a play at the plate.
Well, he had a play at the plate. Munoz was off with contact. It's going to be a close play either way. Yeah, take a look at that, Danny. I think Munoz came up limping a little bit, slid over the top of the bat.
Not enough time.
Not that he's hurt, but
kick that bat out of the way with a play at the plate. And the play behind him, he doesn't know. So runners at the corners for Jack Flaherty. And bunts it foul. Flaherty has doubled in each of his last 3 games, and he's trying to become the first pitcher in almost 30 years to have an extra base hit and 4 straight with an at bat.
You would think he would probably try and run here so Jack doesn't have to bunt.
He's not running, and the pitch is taken for a ball. Cardinals are 7 for 7 when DeSclafani has been on the mound this year in terms of stolen bases.
Well, I don't think the Barnway throws that great. The Joey Votto at first is leaving his position early, and as soon as he leaves, you can take off.
There he goes, and the pitch is taken for a strike, and an easy steal for Bader, number 6.
Nice job right there. Good jump by Bader. Made it easy. Jack Flaherty pulling the bat back, allowing him to steal that base. I'll just try to put it in play right here somehow.
And a swing and a miss. So Flaherty strikes out, number 3 for DeSclafani, and here's Tommy Edman. Edman struck out looking first time up. 2-0 Cardinals here in the top of the second. First pitch hit out of play. Fifth start in a row for Tommy Edman, making the most of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Began with the final game at home against Pittsburgh, went 2 for 3. First game here, 1 for 5 with a grand slam. Went 1 for 5 the next night, couple of runs scored and a steal, and then last night 3 for 4. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Edman, and a grounder pulled foul. Jack Flaherty with 28 pitches in the bottom of the first, and now DeSclafani is 28th here in the top of the second coming up.
So you're saying we're not on record pace?
Probably not. And time called. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Tommy Edman. 2 in the inning, 4 in the game for DeSclafani, but the Cardinals strike first. It's 2-0. Check in with Jim Hayes.
Danny, it might sound cliche, but Jack Flaherty says pitching boils down to one thing: execution, especially in the big moments. Jack says he's doing better with that. He's allowed just 1 run over 7 innings in each of his last 2 starts. In his last one against the Pirates, Mike Schultz stayed with Jack with 2 on in the 7th, and he struck out Kevin Newman to get out of the jam. Flaherty says that really helped his confidence. He told me, I have to focus on the pitch and not let the situation or what's going on in the game make the moment too big. It comes down to execution. Danny, he has pitched well over his last couple of starts.
Yeah, and he has a 1.29 ERA. San Francisco final start before the break, and then Pittsburgh the other night. Scooter Gennett, Jose Peraza, Anthony DeSclafani for the Reds here in the home half of the second. Ryan Joseph, Gennett at the plate. But he goes by Scooter.
Ryan Joseph. I think Tom Mee wants to go by Scooter too.
Mom gave him that nickname. Comes from a sports background in his family. His dad Joe, scout for the Astros. His grandfather, pro boxer. And the next to Scooter Gennett. Swung on and missed. Comes back to get him. 3rd strikeout for Jack Flaherty. Kubota power stats. Cardinals this season in the rotation. The guys leading the way in strikeouts, and that's Jack Flaherty at 118.
The guy second on the list. Bueno.
Continues to amaze me that he's done what he's done this year. A strike to Jose Peraza. And a grounder foul, and third base coach could not come up with it.
Hot shot.
It's J.R. House. He's also their catching coach. Delino DeShields, their first base coach, former second baseman with the Cardinals, popped up into shallow center. Bader calling off both Edman and DeYoung. 2 away. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Here's DeSclafani. Hitting .138, no homers, no runs batted in this season. And And the first pitch taken outside for a ball. Flaherty trying to match what Adam Wainwright did in July of 2016. He's the last Cardinal to make 3 starts with at least 7 innings and no more than 1 run allowed. So he's done that against the Giants, the Pirates, and trying to do that today against Cincinnati.
He's thrown some nice games in the recent, like you said. Through 7 innings against Pittsburgh, only gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, and that's just, it was dominating.
Chopper up the middle, base hit. 2-out hit for DeSclafani.
Got some hitting pitchers, don't they?
Yeah. Michael Lorenzen at the head of the list there, two-way player for the Reds. Ryan Lavarnway, the 9th place hitter. What a debut for their catcher, making his 2nd start. First player, 2 home runs in his first game with the Reds. First player with more than 3 runs batted in his first game with the Reds. Only the 4th major league player since the RBI became a stat in 1920 to have this line: 3 hits, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. And the average sits at 750. Nothing in 2.
Slugging
really high.
2,500. Really high.
You get to a certain level, it just is really high.
800. Why is he hitting 9? He's hitting 750.
I'm not sure I buy into the pitcher batting 8th.
I'm not sure why it's going on, but it goes.
Reds pitchers 4 for 7 in the series against the Cardinals. Strikeout of Lavarnway. 2 in the inning. 4 in the game for Jack Flaherty. Sends us to inning number 3. 2-0 St. Louis. If you can't come on television, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Cardinals. Our T-Mobile connection to the game, and this class headed to the Hall of Fame. You've seen him. Martinez, Baines, Smith, Rivera, and Roy Halladay. What do you think about a DH going into the Hall of Fame? You all right with that?
Yeah. I mean, you don't go to the Hall of Fame unless you're Ozzie Smith for numbers on the defense, so it's a pretty heavily weighed offensive category. This guy can play. Got the pleasure of playing against him for a few years.
Here's Dexter Fowler. He actually walked more times than he struck out. Edgar Martinez. He'll wear that Mariners logo going into the Hall of Fame. And that pitch taken high by Fowler.
I made the mistake of grabbing a peanut and eating it in between innings. Now I'm craving the peanuts. Peanuts at the ballpark.
Mm-hmm. Well, go get one. Or bag.
Can't really eat them on the air.
Well, take the half inning off, Jimmy, and go get yourself a bag of peanuts.
Just take them out of your bag. Did you eat those peanuts?
Those are gone. I didn't like them. They were too stale. I only had a few of them.
Did you?
2-2 the count. I like the hard shell. You got to be able to crack it. Got to be a little fresh.
They have some back there behind us.
And Fowler strikes out for the 2nd time tonight, or rather this afternoon, and that's 5 for DeSclafani. Top of the lineup, 0 for 4 for the Cardinals, 4 strikeouts. Rangel Ravello grounded out his first time up.
Does Ravello have a homer yet? I don't think
Not
he
here.
does.
Nope. First hit was at Busch Stadium with a single to left. No balls, rather one ball and one ball and one strike. 2-0 Cardinals. Munoz an RBI. Error by Suarez brought in a run. Cardinals head to Pittsburgh. Daniel Ponce de Leon tomorrow. Trevor Williams going for the Pirates. Hudson and Archer. Wainwright, Lyles, Michaelis, Musgrove on the getaway day. And the 1-2 pitch to Rangel Ravello.
Wow, see the movement on that pitch?
Yeah.
Good sinker right there. Ooh. Wow. Check that ball for a scuff right there.
That reminds me of the ball that was taken by Edman to start the game on the called third strike. Here's O'Neill. So Anthony DeSclafani back-to-back strikeouts in this inning and 6 already today. Cardinals have 17 members of their organization in the Hall of Fame that called St. Louis their primary home. 8 were voted in by the baseball writers. As O'Neill hits it out of play, and he'll check his bat. May have cracked it. He did.
I'll tell you what, he's got some kind of movement going.
That one back in on the hands of O'Neill.
I wonder if it was that ball. Sometimes you get a scuff on a ball and the ball will run like that. See if he still has that movement with the new ball. He didn't have that movement earlier in the game.
No. 1-2 the count on O'Neill. Strikes out the side here in the top of the third. 7 today through 3 innings for Anthony DeSclafani, and it's 2-0. Tuesday, July 3rd, featuring Jason Mott. Q&A and a bobblehead. Cardinals.com/budbash.
That beard looked a little dark, didn't it?
He looks a little different since he retired. He's in really good shape. Not that he wasn't when he played, but different look to Jason Mott. He's in St. Louis today. I was texting back and forth with him. He's got a couple of events in town this week.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
He's done a lot for cancer research, raising money and awareness. Closed out the 2011 World Series.
How about that? Come through the minors as a catcher, turn yourself into a pitcher. Don't know if you're ever going to make it. And next thing you know, you're standing on the mound with World Series with 2 outs and the ball in your hand.
Backhanded by DeYoung. And make yourself a lot of money along the way too. I mean, hey, it's a job. You get into this to get yourself a job, and you love the sport clearly that you played as a kid, but there's a business side to it, and he became a very good reliever for a number of years. That's part of it, Jimmy.
Yep.
Here's Joey Votto. Not much has changed with Joey Votto. from what he does on deck, how he gets into the batter's box, reaching across, touching the plate, and then coming set with a stance that's been, for the most part, looking the same since he broke into the league 2009 and was the runner-up rookie of the year to Giovanni Soto. There's some that will change their stance all the time. Cal Ripken did that.
Oh my gosh.
Always different.
Like a couple times a year.
More than that. Sometimes a couple times a game. Here's a 1-1. And Votto picks up the base hit. Cut off by Fowler. Good play by Dexter. Gets it in on a hop to second base. And holds Votto to a single.
Kind of what I was talking about earlier. He hit an off-speed pitch right there. What he's been driving. Fastball's been eating him up. A nice play right here, hustling the whole way, making sure Joey can't go to second. Nice job, Dex.
Here's Suarez, struck out first time up. Good slider by Flaherty. Votto with 2 stolen bases stands at first base, and there's strike 1. Nothing in 2. Jimmy's talked about how Flaherty winless in 10. ERA has been just under 5. The average against him is only .224 though. As Suarez on an 0-2 pitch singles into center field. That's where the Fowler play comes in big time. If not, if he doesn't cut that ball off hit by Votto, might be 2-1 game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why. I mean, look how deep Harry is right here. It's so deep. Jack makes a good pitch. Usually when you make a good pitch, he should be out. He should get an out. To be honest with you, I'd like to see that ball caught, or at least real close to being caught.
Here's Yasiel Puig with runners at first and second. Puig walked. Then Van Meter came up with 2 runners on and lined out on a really nice play by Tommy Edman. Leaping and catching that baseball. And the slider taken low. So you've got Edman at second base today, Munoz at third. Rangel Rebello, Kisner behind the plate, guys that you don't normally see every single day. And the 1-0 pitch to Puig. Popped up. Going out, Tommy Edman. This catch a little bit easier. Infield fly called on that play.
Another good pitch by Jack. Last 2 times got inside on the hitters.
It was Van Meter who was up with runners at first and second when Edman made that leaping catch at second base. Anywhere you put Tommy Edman, you just feel like you're going to get
the job.
Yeah, you're going to get quality play.
He's done such a nice job. I mean, like we've said it 100 times already this year. He had a great spring training, opened up a lot of eyes. He's still doing it.
And the first pitch taken low. 1 ball, 1 strike on Van Meter. Lee Smith, unique Cooperstown candidate for a relief pitcher. Spanned a couple of eras. Relief pitchers go multiple innings era, and the closers just pitch the 9th era. Did a little bit of both. And a fastball, then a strike. He will go in with a Cubs logo. Retired in 1997 as the leader in saves. 478, led the league 4 different times, and for 4 years pitched with the Cardinals. Lee Arthur Smith.
Made a pit stop through Anaheim, or should I say California Angels.
The 1-2 pitch by Flaherty.
Jeez, good pitch.
2-2 the count on Van Meter. This will be pitch number 60 coming up with 2 outs here in the 3rd. Runners off with his pitch. 3-2 with 2 outs. Scooter Gennett at the on deck circle. And time called. Inning started with a ground out. Base hit then by Votto into right center. Suarez singled to center on an 0-2 pitch. Puig popped out. 3-2 the count on Van Meter with 2 runners on. There go the runners, and it swung on and missed. Strikeout number 5 for Jack Flaherty. Sends us to the 4th in a 2-0 game. Kick off the 2000 National League Championship Anniversary Weekend presented by Heartland Coca-Cola, Friday, July 26th. And that day, 30,000 fans 16 and older take home a mystery player, home white replica jersey that's courtesy of Cooper Tires. They'll work on the pitcher's mound here. That's the first warm-up by DeSclafani. He didn't like something that was there, and pitchers do have the ability, if they want to call out the grounds crew with the permission of the umpire to work on the mound. And maybe Flaherty is dug in on that lead foot, and that's why he wanted to have some of that dirt pounded back in.
It's interesting because Jack digs in there a little bit, and DeSclafani is just standing on top of the rubber with it flat, no digging in at all. So maybe.
DeSclafani threw 3 innings already with 7 strikeouts against the Cardinals, matching his season high against St. Louis back on June 6th. And the first pitch is strike. Off the bat of DeYoung into shallow right, and Yasiel Puig with the catch. That's the first out. Back in the second inning, had the Cardinals get on the board. It was a Tyler O'Neill single to center field. Picked up his first stolen base. 2 strikes, a base hit into right to drive him in by Munoz. Kisner also would single. He would steal. And then Harrison Bader put the ball in play with a couple of runners on, one of them being Munoz at third, and an error on Suarez's 12th allowed him to score. And that has been the scoring. Now, since that error, DeSclafani has set down 6 straight with 5 strikeouts. And the 2-0. 2-1.
Wow, Ed Hickok's got a huge plate today. He's trying to keep the game moving.
And Munoz hits a fly ball into right. Puig near the line and makes the catch. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
There's my check in my account. Simple as that.
Ooh, 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 do me.
DeSclafani drafted in the 22nd round of 2008. Here's Kisner. That was out of high school by the Red Sox, did not sign. And he was almost signed. It was 45 minutes into a car ride headed to the airport to go to Boston that his mom said, if you're not dead set on playing pro ball, then don't sign. So he went to college. Became a 6th-round pick in 2011 from the University of Florida. Traded by the Blue Jays to the Marlins. Deal that sent Jose Reyes and Mark Burley to Toronto in November of that year. That had 12 players, by the way, involved in that huge trade. Then he was brought here in the Matt Latos deal in 2014. Missed all of 2017, had a sprained UCL. First 2 months of 18 with an oblique strain. So another highly thought of Marlins prospect pitching for the Reds. Last night Luis Castillo, and today Anthony DeSclafani.
There's a lot of them out there.
Actually made his major league debut as a Marlin in 2014. Be a free agent after next year. That's out of play. Kisner, a base hit to center, then his first stolen base of the year. And that's it out of play again.
These guys are really having trouble battling this sinker. So much movement trying to stay inside the ball, and it's just like getting in on the hands. Seems like everyone's trying to fight it off.
And the check swing could not hold up. Eight strikeouts. Let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Danny, Mike Schultz saying a day game after a night game is a good spot to get Paul Goldschmidt a breather. Been a tough year for Paul. He's a career .310 hitter with runners in scoring position, just .224 with runners in scoring position this season. Paul told me it's been tough. I haven't been hitting the ball hard, and I haven't been having consistently good at bats. He says he's trying to remain as positive as he can. Goldschmidt told me you have to let the negative stuff go. I've had bad stretches before. I was always able to turn it around. But Dan, if the Cardinals are hoping to make a run, they're going to need Paul Goldschmidt contributing.
Yeah, and there's different ways in how guys handle failure. This is Scooter Gennett. And that's a base hit into right. It's not easy. Jim Hayes coming to the Cardinals, and it's easy to sign the contract and say, yeah, I want the money, but you want to make sure you earn it. And clearly it's been, I'm sure, a very frustrating season for Goldie.
Yeah, and you could see him. I mean, he's aware of what's going on, although he says, I don't really look at the numbers. I judge my at-bat by whether or not I hit the ball hard, and I haven't been doing that. But he said he's pretty good at leaving whatever's going on with his baseball career on the field and not taking it home. But he said it's a really difficult thing to do. So what he's going to do now, he's doing everything he can to try to focus on the team. And he told me, look, if I go 0 for 4 and the team wins, that's a good day for me. I asked Mike Schilt about it, and Schilt said, look, a lot of guys say that stuff. Paul Goldschmidt means it. He's that kind of guy.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy. Runner at first after the base hit by Jeanette to right. Here's Jose Peraza. That slider has been sharp today.
Yeah, he's got a good slider going today for sure. Ball's running a little bit. Only made a couple mistakes. So far, so good.
Well, Jimmy, you've been there before where the expectations are so high and you're doing everything you can to prepare, be the player that people expect, and it just doesn't happen. I'm sure he'll come out of it at some point, but if this team is going to go to postseason play, and I've said this a lot the last couple of weeks, Goldschmidt has to be Goldschmidt.
Yep. Yeah, you need his bat in the lineup. His presence in the dugout, in the locker room, were amazing, but to get him back going in the lineup is going to be key.
And the 0-2 taken high. Matt Carpenter begins a rehab assignment. I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing for Carp, maybe just to get some at bats, non-pressurized spots of the minor leagues.
Got to get his timing back. He's missed a lot of time lately. So
good pitch. And strikeout number 6 for Flaherty.
Good pitch right here on the black. See that ball run back.
DeSclafani picked up the first hit for the Reds against the Cardinal right-hander with a chopper hit up the middle. And back-to-back hits by Votto and Suarez in the third, but could not score. One out, runner at first. And Munoz now coming in at third base. Ravello holding at first. Mariano Rivera with 652 saves, most in the history of the game. He'll go into the Hall of Fame this afternoon. 5 World Series titles he was a part of, and a unanimous choice for the Hall of Fame. He had 31 saves in the postseason of 4 outs or more.
Oh man,
31. And everybody knew it was coming.
Yep.
The cutter. That's a foul ball. Nothing at 2. Great Mariano Rivera. Enter Sandman would be playing, and he's coming in. It was the night that he made his final appearance, and Derek Jeter went out there as well. Jeter eligible for the Hall of Fame next year. Wonder if he'll get in. And a swing and a miss by DeSclafani. So 7 strikeouts by Flaherty, 8 on the other side. DeSclafani 15 already in the game. We're not through 4.
And that is why it's dragging a little bit.
There's Ryan Lavarnway, and he was called out on strikes back in the 2nd inning. And strike one. One ball and one strike. LeBarnway not chasing there on that slider.
Throwing a lot of sliders now.
I think that's also part of the toll that it takes on Flaherty. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of sliders, a lot of balls. Trying to get swings and misses.
And the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, fair. Long throw here for Munoz. And the stretch by Ravello. Reds strand a runner, their 6th of the afternoon. We head to the 5th, and Bader coming up. News presents this date in Cardinals history. The Mad Hungarian, featured on our pre and post game shows. Happy birthday, Al. Turned 70 today. See more at fuse.com. Lou's big summer sales. Lou Fuse. So 1949, Al is born, and this date in 2012, our colleague Tim McCarver receives the Ford C. Frick Award. Put in Cooperstown Baseball's Hall of Fame for his work behind the mic. Tim McCarver played in 4 different decades. That's incredible.
That is incredible.
And there's another Ford C. Frick Award winner, and that's Marty Brenneman, his final year behind the mic calling Reds action. 46th and final season in the booth. That's a lot of balls and strikes. Do you know who he replaced? Marty?
No, I do not.
The great Al Michaels.
Really?
0-2 on Bader. Al Michaels was calling games in Hawaii and then brought to Cincinnati. DeSclafani looking for his season high in strikeouts. His next strikeout will give him that. Struck out 6 of the last 8. The 0-2. Bader with runners at second and third put the ball in play after his 6th stolen base. He also picked up, but put it in play. Under the glove of Suarez, he picked up an error, and the Cardinals picked up a 2-run lead.
Play, you got to put it in play. Look at the way we scored the runs today. Soft ground ball for an error, and then off the end of the bat, broken bat single. Put the ball in play, something good will happen.
It was 2 years ago today that Tyler O'Neill was traded to the Cardinals for Marco Gonzalez, as Bader sends a fly ball to Yasiel Puig. And the catch is made for the first out here in inning number 5. A reminder that Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University Physicians, national leaders in medicine. And by Ford, the official car and truck of your St. Louis Cardinals. Here's Jack Flaherty. He came up with 1 out, runners at second and third, and struck out back in the 2nd inning. And a fastball at 95 for strike 1. Boy, DeSclafani has settled in, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's throwing it today. Good movement, good slider. Getting the ball right now and just firing it. Picked up the pace a little bit.
Harold Baines going into the Hall of Fame today. 34th all time in runs batted in. As Flaherty pops that back and foul. He was 9th in runs batted in, 6th in hits in the 1980s, and he'll go in with that White Sox logo on his cap. Mentioned Lee Smith, the Cubs, Edgar Martinez, the Mariners, Mike Mussina, no logo, Roy Halladay, no logo, and Rivera, obviously, the Yankees cap. It's a big class and some big names.
You got that right. Big, big, big. Going to be a big crowd, too. Can't wait to see it.
That's taken for a ball, and it's 2-2. Reds look like a different team in the back end of their games with Garrett healthy, Iglesias back, Lorenzen. And we saw with that trio out, at least 2 of the 3, and then 1 not used. Cardinals beat up on that bullpen of David Bell.
Yeah, they had a rough couple of first days, a couple days here. Bullpen came in and gave it up. It's good to be good to get your, like you said, the back end of your bullpen back from being injured, because they really didn't have a chance first couple nights.
This will be pitch number 8, one of the better at bats here for the Cardinals last couple of innings. Held on to by LaVarnway in a strikeout, number 9, and that's a season high for DeSclafani. We saw that shot of David Bell. He was hired as the Reds manager back in October. 63rd in franchise history. Dad and his David and his dad Buddy, 4th father-son duo to serve as major league managers. George and Dick Sisler, Bob and Joel Skinner, Bob and Aaron Boone. Aaron, many years here in Cincinnati and now managing the Yankees.
And Buddy, I believe, is working for the Reds also.
That's
correct?
Right. Yeah, he's in the front office.
Yeah, some kind of special assistant or something. I was talking to Walt Jocketty the other day about him and was happy with him.
David has managed in the minor leagues for the Reds, but first time to get a crack at the majors. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had 4 seasons in their organization. Primarily it was player development. That's when he left the Cardinals to go to the VP of player development for the Giants, and then took over, got back in uniform with Cincinnati. So Buddy, his dad, and then you have his grandfather, Gus Bell, and he's a Reds Hall of Famer.
Pretty good family.
A couple of brothers that played pro ball as well. Tommy Edman pops it up near the Cardinal dugout, near the seats, and playable for Suarez. Cardinals go in order here in the top of 5. It's 2-0 St. Louis. Pirates get the head-to-head matchup this year. 9 games, Cardinals have won 5. In Pittsburgh tomorrow, Budweiser, what's on tap? Daniel Ponce de Leon and Trevor Williams tomorrow. Will come your way at 5:30 St. Louis time. Top of the lineup, Jesse Winker. And he looks at a ball underway in the home half of the 5th. Breaks his bat, fly ball out to right, and Fowler can't come up with it. Gets away, the throw to second, and in there safely. Winker hustling all the way, drops in for a hit.
See that Bader's playing in left center field and Dexter's playing straight up. He leaves a big gap in right center field. And the ball squirts away right there and allows Winker to go to second.
So Jesse Winker with a walk and now a double. Here's Votto. He struck out against that slider, and he is also singled and singles again. Runners at the corners and nobody out. And here come the Reds.
Fastball up in the zone right there. A little too much plate.
I'm sure it's frustrating to start this inning with a pretty good pitch, breaks his bat, and what should be a single or maybe even caught turns into a double. Votto, the clean hit out to left field, and it brings in Suarez. So runners at first and third, nobody out. Suarez struck out back in the first, single to center field on an 0-2 pitch. Giovanni Gallegos starting to throw in the Cardinal pen. 75 pitches today for Jack Flaherty.
I was gonna say Jack's got 75 pitches now. It's only the 5th inning, and it's hot, so keep an eye on that. See how much further he can go in this heat.
And a pitch taken low by Suarez. Reds have out hit the Cardinals now, 6-3 in the game, but trail by 2. Out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Good pitch there.
Really good fastball away. Just threw it right by him. Jack trying to do a nice job holding the runners too. He's holding the ball a little bit, stepping off, throwing over.
Fouled back.
There's that little fan, a little mister.
And now he hit him on a 1-2 pitch, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, that ball's going to leave a mark for sure. And then just above the belt, the side of the ribs. Oh.
Now what he wanted to do on a 1-2 pitch. He loads him up for Yasiel Puig, who has walked today and also popped out to shallow center in a play that was made by Tommy Edman. They're all loaded up, nobody out for the Reds here in their half of the 5th. It's a big spot in this game right here.
Still nobody out.
And Puig looks at a pitch just a bit high. Hitting those muscles and flexing without having a shirt underneath. It's Yasiel Puig.
Getting testy.
Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good pitch again. 1-2. Throws the bat up in the air, doesn't catch it, hits the ground, has to pick it up, steps away. 1-2 the count.
Good slider right here. Maybe not. Just one of those at bats where you're just not really locked in.
So 1-2 the count.
See if we can't get him to chase again.
2-2. That's the sac fly line, combining the strength of the arm, speed of the runner. StatCast AI, powered by AWS. Bader shading Puig to right field. O'Neill shading towards the line a little bit in left, so big gap in left center. And Flaherty steps off. Gallegos hot, ready, just standing now. I've got to wonder if some of the long pauses and various things that Flaherty has been doing today, part of it dealing with base runners, so by design long looks and step offs and whatnot, but if he's been on the same page as his catcher.
Well, I think too, Kissner's trying to make sure that he doesn't give away location too early. And I think the last time Jack came up, and I'm pretty sure he's saw Kissner where he was not supposed to be, and as he was shifting, Jack just stepped off. So that has a little bit of a play into it too, trying to be really conscious of not setting up too quick. Sometimes sometimes pitchers would rather you just sit like that and then move late versus start on one side and move to the other, because every now and then you have a little bit of a doubt in your mind when you see the catcher move into a situation where you're like, oh, didn't he just call something else? So maybe that's what it was too. He told them maybe just stay still out there until you're ready to move.
Puig popped up. Edman going out. Infield fly called. And a big first out for Flaherty.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Just less movement.
We got a couple of lefties coming up, and that's Van Meter and Jeanette. That's going to be it for Jack Flaherty. Out of the ball game with 86 pitches. And Flaherty, I don't think, is real happy at all about coming out of this game. Goes in, and Jack conversation there with Mike Maddox.
Yeah, he's going over there just to talk to him. Jack's still so young and still so competitive. And you could tell he was fired up when he came off the mound. Maddox going over there trying to explain to him the situation, calm him down a little bit, make sure there's no further damage as far as his team is concerned. Now he's got to rely on Gallegos getting him out of this inning.
Cardinals, by the way, have called up Tyler Webb, so they have 3 lefties. But Mike Schilt going with the right-hander here, Gallegos, who has really been good in these spots. And the point is that he's had 26 inherited runners and only 3 have come around to score. That has been it. Twice he has pitched out of this type of jam. Bases loaded, either 1 out or nobody out. Came away unscathed. The 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Schilt is not taking any chances. So, I mean, he's just saying, look, this is not your game, Jack. We're gonna try to win this game. And I understand you're 2 outs away from qualifying and you want to stay in. You're competitive, but
it's bigger than you.
Yeah, he feels this is his best chance. 1-2 the count. That's in the dirt, kept in front by Kisner. Really good interview on the pregame show today with Jim Hayes and Giovanni Gallegos. We don't miss those interviews, do we, Jimmy?
Nope. I missed the hot dog eating thing yesterday. I was very, very upset about that.
It was Skyline. Skyline chili. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Gallegos comes in and gets that all important second out and 1 away from getting out of the jam. Here's Scooter Gennett, 1 for 2. He has struck out and also a base hit to right field. They're all loaded up with 2 outs.
Probably be swinging first pitch right here if he gets a fastball.
He is, and it's popped up, but foul. Owner of 6 grand slams in his career.
Man, that's pretty good.
When 1 the count with the bases loaded and a 2-run St. Louis lead. Gennett wears number 3. Originally wore number 4 with Cincinnati and then changed it to 3 because he's a huge fan of Dale Earnhardt. Veterans get to choose those numbers if they're available. A ball and a strike on Scooter Gennett.
Heard a little rumbling in the clubhouse the other day that maybe Paul DeYoung might be going back to his old number, which was, I believe, 11.
Any reason why?
I don't know. I just think that was he liked that number. But I think when Okendo was back here,
that's right.
Clearly he was number 11.
The 2-1. How about that? Bases loaded. 2-1 off speed pitch. That is nasty as right.
You can see he's a little sneaky, so guys are trying to get out in front of that fastball, and then whew, that is dirty.
He is 1 strike away from sending us to the 6th inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. And Flaherty got the pop up on a 3-2 to Puig. Gallegos a strikeout of Van Meter, and now 2-2 on Scooter Gennett. And it's spoiled.
I'd hate to see him go to 3-2 right here with 2 outs, but I would love to see him just stay out of the middle of the plate. Try to see if he can get him to chase. But I don't like getting into a situation where you start the runners, especially with the bases loaded. Give those guys a little bit easier chance to score on a base hit or maybe a double.
Here's a 2-2. And third base umpire Angel Hernandez peeking around the runner.
Never mind. Let's get the runners going.
The first 3 reached in the inning. Winker double, Votto a single, Suarez hit by a pitch, and they're all loaded up. 3-2. The Reds have struck out 8 times in this game. The next by Gallegos. He struck him out. He comes in with the bases loaded, 1 out, and gets back-to-back strikeouts of Van Meter and this one of Scooter Gennett. Made the move with 1 out, bases loaded to go with Giovanni Gallegos. And part of the reason why he struck out 39% of the left-handed batters that he has faced in the inherited runner situation that we spoke of earlier, and the move again pays off. Back-to-back strikeouts with the bases loaded, 1 out.
And that's a gutsy move by Mike Shildt right there, and that's basically telling you this is his team, and he's not going to let anyone worry about trying to get a win before the team gets a win. It's a big-time play, big-time move.
Here's Dexter Fowler. DeSclafani has struck out 9. Twice Fowler has struck out. 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch number 87 for the Red starter today. A shift on the right side. And Fowler tattoos one down the right field line. Geared up for a 2-0 fastball. He got it and hit it a mile high, but yanked it foul. And Fowler picks up a base hit. You watch the first 2 at-bats in plate appearances by Dexter, you're thinking, well, this could be a tough one. And he comes up with the leadoff hit here in the top of the 6th. Momentum shift in the game, undoubtedly, with Giovanni Gallegos and the job that he did. And see if the Cardinals can't tack on a run or 2 here. Snaps an 0 for 15 for Dexter Fowler.
It's a big-time energy boost for this team, too. Like I said, it's a big-time pick-me-up, getting out of that jam. Hopefully it swings a little momentum under the offense, get another couple runs.
Here's Rangel Ravelo. See if the Cardinals again want to do some running. They did that a lot back in the 2nd inning. They had 4 stolen bases. Fowler has 4 this year. Ravelo has grounded out to short back in the 1st and struck out. The next to Ravelo. Here's a 1-1 to Ravelo and a potential double play ball. 4-6. 3 on the double play as Ravelo is called safe, and the Reds will take a look at it.
Good hustle. Good job getting down the line, regardless if he's safe or out. Oof.
David Bell, tight game, and will he challenge? There's some nerves going on. Yes, he will. We will have a challenge. And Mike Schilt, the reason that he's upset is that, and he just said what the is going on. He's upset. The other day he had an issue with the umpiring crew in St. Louis, and it took forever for Clint Hurdle to make a decision as to whether or not he wanted to challenge. And letter of the law is you get 10 seconds to get the attention of the crew chief, and then you're 30 to decide whether or not you want to challenge. And the Reds took a long time there, and that's why Mike is upset. It's been kind of a floating 30 seconds, if you will.
Rightfully so, too, because the other day he got pushed a little bit on our challenge when we were on the road, and a lot of times the home team has a little bit of control over how quickly they can get the feed down into the clubhouse. So kind of a little residual effect, I think, as far as that goes, being pushed to challenge, and then all of a sudden the home team gets a little extra time.
So the call stands. Ravello at first base, and now Tyler O'Neill. And O'Neill takes a pitch low. Pitch count starting to get up there now for this right-hander. 92. O'Neill scored a run back in the second. Base hit to center, and also was called out on strikes.
I don't know if I was David Bell, if I'd be happy or not. They've lost a challenge.
Tight game midway through. Yeah.
They still got a lot of time. They were out of challenges. Was it the first or the second game? Second game that they had a play at second, and our player was out, but he was out of challenges, and it could have been the turning point of the game.
That was part of the 7 runs, and then highlighted by Martinez to make it 10. And if it would have been challenged, I think the call would have been overturned and an out against St. Louis.
He definitely was out at second.
You know, would have been a situation. I think if you add up some of the plays, it was about 7 outs that inning given to the Cardinals.
We thought it was 6. It was actually 7.
That's right, because you got to add the challenge that wasn't made. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tyler O'Neill popped up and foul. Well, the guys in the truck tell us it was 36 seconds from the time that David Bell said that he wanted to at least look at it. So he was afforded a few extra ticks on the clock. 1-2 on O'Neill. Taken high, 2-2. Strikeout of O'Neill.
With a good 2-seamer with a lot of run. Ball's up, but it comes back. It's amazing. Good 2-seamer today.
There's Paul DeYoung. That's 10 strikeouts for DeSclafani. And pulled foul by Paul. Rounded into the shift and also lined out to right. 0 for 2. Lucas Sims has been throwing and getting loose in the Reds bullpen.
Pitch number 99 coming up here. There's a lot of pitches in this heat. A little cloud cover, though. Maybe guys out there on the field catching a break.
Popped up left side, out of play. Strikeouts today for Anthony DeSclafani. Cardinals strand a runner. Their third of the day, and it's still 2-0. See healthcare difference, 5th inning. Giovanni Gallegos with the bases loaded and only 1 out. He gets back-to-back strikeouts of Van Meter and Jeanette. Keeps the Reds off the board, and this guy has been fabulous for St. Louis. No other way to put it.
Yeah, you said it, Danny. He has come in and done the job. Today was a big one.
Here's Jose Peraza, and a strike. Derek Dietrich on deck, and we check in with the Cat.
Yeah, Gallegos may be one of the best kept secrets in the National League. 3rd best whip in the National League among relievers coming into today, holding opponents to a 178 average. 0.97 versus opponents with runners in scoring position. We had Giovanni on the pregame, and he told me he prefers flying under the radar. He told me, I like that people don't know me. I can focus on my game. And Dan, he credits Michael Wacha and Adam Wainwright for helping him along, but mostly Yadi. Gallegos said, I follow his advice every time, and it was nice of Gallegos to do the interview in English today on the pregame show. That was really nice.
Absolutely. And for some of these players, you can understand why it's not easy to do that in their second or third language, and Gallegos did do that. 0-2. And the 3-2 pitch that was the strikeout of Jeanette was an off-speed pitch, Jimmy. I mean, you know, yeah, you talk about hitters' counts and expecting a fastball in that spot. Takes guts.
Danny, he's only got 8 walks, 63 strikeouts.
It's incredible.
Well, that's part of the reason why he's been so successful. Keeping people off base. No free passes.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Jose Peraza. And he fouled that back.
Opponent's batting average against 178.
The Luke Voigt deal that sent him to the Yankees. Gallegos and Shreve coming back to St. Louis. And the 1-2. He has been a mainstay after the first few weeks of trying to get the ball to Jordan Hicks, or in this case Carlos Martinez or John Gant. And Mike Schilt started using him in bigger situations, and he responded.
I'll tell you what, that was pretty much none bigger of a situation than coming in and 2-run ball game with the bases loaded.
Outside corner, strikeout. 3 in a row for Gallegos since he's come into the game.
Pretty good pitch here, a little bit off the plate maybe. Came back. Ed Hickox has had a pretty big zone today, so he's been calling that.
There's Derek Dietrich coming off the bench today for the Reds. He'll bat for DeSclafani, who struck out 11. And the fans are happy because if there's 11 strikeouts, well, you get some free food tomorrow here at a local restaurant. I believe it's pizza.
Yeah. Do you think he did some curls again before he came up to hit?
Probably.
Spotted him doing some curls before the game.
He was hit by a pitch in the ball game last night. He's got 20 2 times now that he's been hit by a pitch this year.
That's a lot.
Shift on the right side, and the 0-1 make it 0-2.
He's got 212 at bats. He's been hit 20. What'd you say?
I think it's 22 or 21 times. Yeah.
$22 times.
Originally drafted by the Astros, did not sign, played at Georgia Tech collegiately, and 3 pitches. Go back to your curls.
Another nasty sinker right there. Ball's running back. Cannot hit that. Greg Maddux made a living at that pitch.
Sure did. Like a wiffle ball with Greg Maddux, wasn't it?
Oh man. Like he used to just toy with you.
Did you guys ever go back to the dugout, especially left-handed batter, and a ball that began at your hip?
Yep.
And said, now wait a minute, what is going on out there?
His finger pressure. He would just throw it off his fingers. I would scream at him. Scream at him. So I was like, you're making stuff up out there.
Would he ever laugh? Or?
Yeah. And then I ended up playing with him for a little bit. He was classic. Nothing like his brother that's in the Cardinal dugout.
And how are they different?
Mike's quiet and Greg is loud.
And you wouldn't know it if you watched only Greg Maddux pitch.
I used to love it when he would yell in his glove. He'd get so frustrated on the mound too. He gets so mad at himself. And then he would just calm right down, scream in his glove, calm down, and make another good pitch.
1-1, sit in the air, right center. And Bader with the catch. A little chest bump with the wall. Sends us to the 7th. Great work by Gallegos. Check out Cardinals All and even more reasons to score your tickets at StubHub. StubHub has the best selection of 100% MLB verified tickets available even after the first pitch. StubHub, official partner of the Cardinals.
Yeah, I used StubHub to get to a couple of playoff games this year for hockey.
And I'm sure you were satisfied.
They did a good job. Comes right to your phone. Take your phone to the stadium and show it to them and walk right in.
DeSclafani with 6 innings, 2 runs on just 4 hits, 11 strikeouts in the ballgame. No walks. And he'll give way to Lucas Sims in our Chevy call to the pen. Here's Jairo Munoz, and Munoz lifts it in the air out to left center. It's at the wall, and it is off the very top of the wall. Munoz hustling all the way. His throw is not in time, and Munoz beats it in a strong throw back in from center field, and it's a triple for Jairo Munoz.
Tell you what, man, look at them. Look at these guys. Munoz is turning into such a weapon, such a good player. Hustles. Just miss hitting a homer by an inch, 2 inches. I'd love to see that homer right there, but perfect timing.
Here's Andrew Kisner, who is 1 for 2. Infield is drawn in. And the strike. Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
Good thing he didn't hit that home run before you got that promo out there.
Oh, Jimmy, we would have made sure we got the money in for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and the Gateway Honda dealers would have been very pleased.
Yes.
Here's a 1-1. Munoz, that's his first career triple, by the way. Suarez trying to keep him close. Infield in. 1-2 the count on Kisner. Stays alive. He pops it up. Votto giving chase and can't come up with it. So fooled by the pitch, but still put the ball in play, but foul.
Foul it off. Good 2-strike approach. Just try to fight it. Saw what happened earlier. Just a little broken bat single over the infielders' heads to get a run in. That's all he's got to do this time. Got all that room out there to just drop something in.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Kisner. Puts it in play slowly. Suarez looks back. Munoz. 1 out.
I've never remembered a team struggle like this team struggled with getting runners in from third base with less than 2 outs in the past. I don't remember it.
Well, you've got to think with Bader up, the squeeze is in play. But Mike Schilt has told me, I mean, he said, you know, I've managed a ton of games in the minor leagues and now doing it here in the major leagues. He said, I'm not a huge fan of the squeeze play. And it's incumbent then on the player to recognize situational hitting.
Well, especially the younger players and up here trying to get them to learn how to drive runners in for the future. And it's all about the learning process. A lot of these guys jump through the minor leagues so quick they've never gotten a chance to really learn some of these little things that you get with a lot of at-bats in the minor leagues. I'm gonna put $50 down on Black here. He's gonna get a slider. Next pitch.
I would double my bet.
Down on this.
Here's a 1-1. And Bader pops it up. Catch made on the outfield grass, and there's 2 outs. So Kisner and Bader can't come through. And Jose Martinez will hit for Gallegos. It cost them, Jimmy, last night with a runner at third, and Goldschmidt couldn't bring him in with just 1 out. And now with a runner at third and nobody out, it's up to Martinez to pick him up. We mentioned momentum earlier, and this is could be
momentum killer.
Yeah, and a shift back maybe to the Reds in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see. Jose Martinez the other night with the 3-run homer in that 7-7 game. Made it 10-7, and the Cardinals hung on. Now the infield is back.
Throwing those balls up and in on purpose, trying to buy the outside corner. Trying to overthrow. Throw that ball inside. You better get it down.
So now you're going to put 50 on slider here away?
Probably. Tell you, as soon as the catcher sets up. Yep. If I'm hitting right there, I'm looking dead slider. And I'm trying to hit it into the river to right center field.
One ball, 1 strike, and now the catcher Lavarnway taking a peek behind Martinez and making sure that Munoz is back and close to the bag at third.
Munoz trying to draw a balk or something.
It's back-to-back sliders. Will he get another one? One ball, 2 strikes. Now 2-2 again inside. Back him off the plate. Let's see if he gets the slider here.
Now you can double down again.
Yep.
Here it comes.
The 2-2 pitch.
Comes the slider. No, what he's done is a nice job. Sims has done a nice job when he is throwing the slider. He's thrown it right down there where he's wanted to throw it. Leaves that pitch up a little bit. It might get hammered. Here it comes again. Oh, went with the fastball. Nice job, Jose. Back to the slider. Wanted the fastball in by the catcher, but back to the slider.
3-2 and inside. So Martinez, good at bat. Draws the walk, and here is Tommy Edman. Close and late situations. This guy has been really good. Small sample size, but big moments for Tommy Edman. Runners at the corners. Edman has struck out twice and also popped out to the third baseman in foul territory. And strike one. I like that, though, the aggressiveness on the first pitch. He seems to have a knack for a pretty good idea, Jimmy, what he's going to get and what he's doing.
It does. It's just a little bit behind that, maybe just not 100% sure, so he's not cheating. But being aggressive on the fastball is exactly what you got to do right here.
Oh, 2. Out of play. It's another 0-2 pitch to Tommy Edman. And Edman pops it up with Martinez running. And it's out of play. And again, pop back and foul. Jose Martinez at first base. He's now walked in 5 straight games. That's a career high for him. Munoz started the inning with a triple off the wall in left center. And the 0-2 pitch. Off the plate.
That cloud cover's really come in handy, hasn't it?
Yep.
Temperatures dropped to about 85, 86 degrees.
Jared Hughes warming in the pen for Cincinnati. Spoiled again by Tommy Edman, making him work. And Edman again pops it back in foul. What a battle here with Lucas Sims and Tommy Edman.
Just gives you a good at bat. Every time he goes out there in a big situation, gives you a good at bat. That's really what you can ask for.
Here's a 1-2 again.
Slider.
And held on to. Strikeout of Edman. So a scoreless inning put up by Lucas Sims. Customers, as of tomorrow, you will not be able to watch any Cardinals games on Fox Sports Midwest. But there's still time to take action. Call 1-866-FOX-FANS. Or you can visit keepmyhometeams.com. Tell Dish and Sling to keep all your favorite Fox Sports Midwest programming, including St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Second inning. This is how it unfolded for St. Louis. Cardinals were running wild in that second inning against DeSclafani and Lavarnway, the catcher. Timely hit with 2 strikes. Jairo Munoz, the infield was in. Then Bader put the ball in play and under the glove of Suarez. That led to a run. And a key moment in the game, bases loaded, 1 out, and Mike Schilt went to his pen, and back-to-back strikeouts for Giovanni Gallegos. Struck out 4 on the day, went an inning and 2/3, and was terrific again. Game summary for here, game number 4 of this series between St. Louis and Cincinnati. Flaherty 4 1/3. Munoz goes 2 for 3. DeSclafani 6 innings, 4 hits. Joey Votto, a couple of hits. He's 2 for 3. Andrew Miller been used a lot here recently in our Chevy call to the pen. Picked up a save the other night.
You're right, though. Danny has been used a lot lately. Been doing a good job.
Colton Wong also into the game. Wong takes over at second base, so Edman out. Miller goes in Edman's spot.
See what happens when you make an out. You got to come out of the game. Benched.
Monday pitch arsenal. Fastball, slider.
There you go. What you see is what you get.
Crowd today 28,763. 28763.
Nasty.
It's Winker, Votto, and Suarez. 2 of the 3 lefties, and that's hit sharply to short. DeYoung on a hop, 1 away. Quick word from St. Louis Children's Hospital.
Keeping kids in the game for 140 years. St. Louis Children's Hospital, guardians of childhood.
Thank you, Joe. Nice work on the All-Star game. Football around the corner. It's amazing how he pops up and does that. Joey Votto, a couple of singles, one to right, the other to left.
These guys.
What are you laughing at?
He's just such a character. Joey Votto, not you.
Oh, what did I do?
Nothing.
These two have seen each other a couple of times. Yeah, in this series, and Votto's bailed on that slider a few times. You don't see him do that very often. Here's a 1-1 pitch. I mean, even there, stepping out.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's waiting for that fastball. He's just not getting it. He's faced Andrew Miller 8 times.
1 hit.
1 hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Joey Votto, 4 strikeouts against the Cardinal left-hander.
See if we can take a peek at the signals. Didn't want to waste his time with the fastball. He's going to go to the slider.
And he carved him up. Gets Winker to ground out. Votto strikes out for the 2nd time. And the batter will be Suarez.
See that slider. He doesn't really want to have anything to do with it.
Jimmy, I know the Cardinals were very careful with Miller coming back from really multiple injuries last year, beginning of the season. I just wonder if his ineffectiveness at times was the fact that he wasn't used an awful lot. It was kind of hit and miss. You know, his appearances would come in bunches and then time off, and now used a lot, and he looks better.
Yeah, he's getting sharp again.
And a strike to Suarez. He struck out, singled on an 0-2 pitch, and was hit by a pitch back in the 5th. Some guys just need the work. They need to be on the mound. They need to feel the baseball, have it in their hands in live action. John Gant throwing in the Cardinals pen.
Andrew Miller threw, as you remember, 3 days in a row before having the off day yesterday.
Count runs full. And he struck him out. Got him with the slider to the back leg of a right-handed batter. A couple of strikeouts for Andrew Miller, including Votto and Suarez back-to-back. Jared Hughes numbers this year are Chevy called to the pen. DeSclafani 6 innings. Sims a scoreless 7th, and now Hughes in to pitch the 8th. Happy birthday to our buddy Al Raboski. Fowler, Ravello, and O'Neill. Dexter 1 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. We'll give Sims credit. Pitched around the leadoff triple and left Munoz stranded at 3rd as Fowler sends one out of play. Nothing in 2. Cardinals have struck out 12 times in the ball game. Same with the Reds.
Jared Hughes is pretty much sinker, slider, changeup, but to the lefties he's more sinker, changeup. You can see right there. 2 changeups in a row to Dexter. Try to go fastball up.
2-2. And Fowler lines it to center for the out. McDonald's Ticket Fest is back, and it's better than ever. Fans can purchase tickets to see the Cardinals play the Cubs at Busch Stadium July 30th through August 1st. You can do that for just $10. $10 tickets right now. Cardinals.com/McDonald's. Love to see a packed house with the Cubbies in town, and that'll help. Here's Rangel Ravelo with one out and nobody on. First pitch, a strike. Ravelo getting a start today. Goldschmidt sitting. And Ravelo this afternoon hitless. A combined 24 strikeouts in the ballgame.
It's a lot today. A lot. Way too many. I'd like to see Ravi hit a homer right here on this sinker.
Cardinals had runner at third. Nobody out. Couldn't bring him in for the Reds. Bases loaded. One out. Couldn't score. 24 strikeouts combined in the game.
Pretty good sinker right there.
Tyler O'Neill on deck. And the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. First strikeout for Hughes. Cardinals baseball brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. Tyler O'Neill, base hit to center, scored the first run for the Cardinals, stole his first base of the year, and twice has been called out on strikes. Reds will have Puig, Van Meter, and Jeanette coming up. John Gant throwing in the Cardinals' pen. Two strikes on O'Neill. Pulled foul. Cardinals will get into Pittsburgh tonight. I'm sure many of the players go out and grab a little dinner, hang out, and get ready for the 4 games tomorrow. Here's a 1-2. Little squibber hit to the right side. O'Neill hustling and can't beat it out.
Pretty close right there. Going to make this challenge. Take a good chance right here in the 8th inning. Nothing left to save. Pretty nice to see. He's been running the bases hard. Tyler O'Neill hustling the whole way. Might have a chance to get a hit out of this.
out.
Cast is presented authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. With Jim Hayes and Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. We're at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Cardinals trying to take 3 of 4. Andrew Miller still in the ball game. You've got Puig here and then 2 lefties, Van Meter and Jeanette. And strike 1. Key moment in the game. Yasiel Puig was up. The bases loaded and nobody out. He popped out. That was against Flaherty, the final batter that he saw. And then Mike Schilt rolled the dice, went with Gallegos. He got back-to-back strikeouts. And he saw 5 hitters. And struck out 4 of the 5. Miller struck out 2 of the 3 that he saw last inning. As Puig pops it up on the infield. Ravello is there for the first out. And here we are, another story developing in this game with the Cardinals. The work of the bullpen for Mike Schilt.
Doing another good job. The Reds are going to pinch hit here and bring in Phillip Ervin.
He has been announced as the pinch hitter for Van Meter.
Just curious to see whether he would go to the pen. I think that's what David Bell was hoping for.
Yep.
Get Andrew Miller out of the game.
And Phillip Ervin looks at a ball. They have used Dietrich and Ervin now off their bench. I'm sure some of the talk after the game will be about taking Jack Flaherty out. And clearly he was upset, frustrated, mad, whatever. However you want to look at it, but the move paid off for Mike Schilt. And as you mentioned, it's part of the learning experience for a young player, or in this case a pitcher.
At the beginning of the season, you probably leave your pitcher in there to get him an experience of how to pitch through jams, but getting into a pennant race now, it's almost August. You start having to maybe make that move and try to ensure the win instead of teaching. Fine line in developing players and trying to win games.
In the air out to deep left, the pinch hitter Ervin hits one to the wall and gone over the wall. It's a home run. Nissan drive of the game, and Phillip Ervin with a solo home run.
The 3-1 slider and came back with a 3-2 fastball right down the middle.
And Mike Schilt will have a double switch here. Iglesias has been announced as the pinch hitter. With 8 more and get a voucher for 50% off on up-to-8 tickets. Cardinals.com/Phillips66. John Ganner Chevy called to the pen as Iglesias will pinch hit. And part of the double switch, Paul Goldschmidt into the ballgame. He takes over at first base. Iglesias has hit for more power this year in this Reds uniform. 2-1 ball game now. And a ball taken low. One ball and one strike. And the 1-1 fouled back in a good cut. Everyday player that has a chance to get the off day like Iglesias, but you know that you might pinch hit. So new ballparks, you're doing some tee work, soft toss.
Yeah, when you're having a day off, the last thing you want to see is a one-run ball game. You know you're getting in there somehow.
And managers, they go in with the idea of, hey, sit back,
try and
get that off day, get a little rest, but then it all of a sudden becomes a time you got to win. The big leagues, man. Here's a 1-2. Fouled back again.
Slider right here.
Got him to reach, and the grounder hit to DeYoung. 2 outs.
Pretty good pitch right there by Johnny Gant. Slider down and away, right on the edge. Cannot take it. It's another ground ball to Paul DeYoung right here. Oh, funky hop.
Paul DeYoung has committed just 3 errors, and today being game number 98.
He's done a really nice job.
Sure has.
Really improved.
That pitch just outside to Jose Peraza. Peraza, a couple of strikeouts. He's also flied to center field. Getting close to that point in the season, Jimmy, for these relievers, and they really got to push. Appearances start getting up there, the back-to-backs sometimes. In the case of Andrew Miller, 3 days in a row. It's not an easy time.
Yeah, this is the dog days are kicking in. John Gant worked 2 of those 3 games that Andrew Miller worked in, and they both had a break yesterday, and right back at it. Hasn't been using his changeup as much lately. Threw a really nice curveball the other day, and right down the middle, got called the ball. He was a little frustrated after the game with that. He said it was one of his better curveballs he's thrown of the year.
And the 3-2. Nice play by Gant. Over to Goldschmidt.
Good job, Johnny Gant.
It's 2-1 in favor of the Cardinals. Raisel Iglesias takes over. The closer for the Reds, and he needs some work. It's a 1-run game. He had been on the paternity list and then returned. So Iglesias in. Irvin stays in the ball game, takes over in left field. Iglesias also, after pinch hitting, stays in. He's at short, and Peraza moving from short to second. And Paul DeJong will lead it off for the Cardinals. DeJong is 0 for 3 today. Grounded up the middle. Hit taken away by the shift. Lined out to right and struck out. DeJong, Munoz, Kisner for St. Louis. And the first pitch, a ball. This guy is nasty. I remember he made his debut against St. Louis, and at that point in time a starter, but they've got him working now out of the bullpen exclusively, and he's very, very good.
You have white laces on his glove. I don't think you should be able to have white laces on your glove.
Yeah, a lot of times that's banned.
Yeah.
How good was your vision, by the way? I know Albert had what, like 2015?
That was 2010.
No wonder you can pick up everything. Chevy called to the pen. Iglesias. And the 2-1 pitch to DeJong. Fouled back, and it's 2-2. Reds will have a pinch hitter, then Lavarnway and Winker. Left on their bench, Nick Senzel. Gratterall, the backup catcher, and if you want to include Michael Lorenzen, he's available too. DeSclafani, Sims, Hughes, and now Iglesias out of the bullpen for the Reds. Leadoff walk, Paul DeJong. Brings in Munoz, who nearly picked up his second home run of the year back in the 7th inning. Hit one off the top of the wall and wound up with his first career triple. That was to lead off the inning, and the Cardinals could not bring him home, and that looms large in this game. It's a new season, single season high for walks. Cardinals shortstop Paul DeJong with 37.
Danny, the Cardinals have only scored or only had 65 RBI with runners on third and less than 2 outs. And that is the lowest in the league.
That's situational hitting, isn't it?
Yeah. They've had a lot of opportunities too.
Well, if you know that, if you're Mike Schilt, do you
work on it?
Certainly you
Talk
work
about
on
it. Yep.
But, you know, do you think with certain guys that you're maybe looking at squeezes or bunting, safety squeeze?
They got to get some of those runners in for sure.
I mean, that's a large sample size now here in late July. Cardinals were running a bunch back in the 2nd. They had 4 steals. DeJong was 6 this year. He's leaning and running. Pitch is a ball. Throw down to second. Got him. Not a great jump there by DeJong, and Lavarnway able to get him.
Heck of a tag. Not much of a throw.
And that's hit out to deep left. Off the bat of Munoz. He knew it. And the Cardinals have their 2-run lead back. Jairo Munoz. He's got a triple today. He's got a home run. He's got a single. And he's closing in on a cycle. His second home run this year. The other was back in Seattle.
My man right there. Keep talking about how he's getting better and better every time he goes out there. Just gets a fastball in the inner half, and he knows it.
Looked to be a Cardinal fan that made the catch for that souvenir. Got a Cardinal hat. And now a keepsake. And a hug for Buddha. Mark Budaska, the assistant hitting coach of the Cardinals. Here's Andrew Kisner with one out, nobody on. It's back to a 2-run lead. It's 3-1 St. Louis. Iglesias has been all over the place, hasn't he?
Yep. Tell he hadn't pitched in a few days. Don't mess up that hair.
One and two the count. Carlos Martinez has been throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. So you got to watch the game if you're on the mound out there in the bullpen. We'll
peek through.
Yeah. And the 1-2. All back by Kisner. Cardinals head to Pittsburgh. The Reds wrapping up their homestand today. They head to Milwaukee. Sonny Gray, Tanner Roark, Tyler Mahle going for the Reds in that series. Chase Anderson, Zach Davies, and Jolie Chassin for Milwaukee. And there's a strikeout of Kisner. It's 14 strikeouts for the Cardinal lineup today. Brings in Harrison Bader with runners at second and third. Hit a ground ball to Suarez at third. Went under his glove. That led to a run. He's flied to right and also popped out with a runner at third and one out. One ball, one strike.
With 14 strikeouts, Danny, is a high for the Reds pitchers this season.
But yet they trail in the ball game by 2 runs. They've out hit the Cardinals 7-6, but they've stranded 9 in this game. And then the error by Suarez was big. Bases loaded, nobody out, couldn't bring a man in. That was big. DeSclafani was pretty good today with 11 strikeouts in 6 innings. The starter for the Reds. 3-2 pitch. Line foul.
Something you don't see every day out of Harrison. Process. A little bit of a process. Growing into something.
And we head to the bottom of the 9th. Home run hit by Jairo Munoz. Second of the season. And he's driven it 2 today. 3-1. Budweiser players of the game. And these the plays of the game. The strikeouts with the bases loaded. Great work by Giovanni Gallegos. And the Cardinal bullpen continued after that. Miller did allow a home run, but 3 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run, 6 strikeouts from the pen today. Carlos Martinez and the Chevy called to the pen. Carlos struck out the first 2 that he saw the other night, and then the wheels came off, but did get the final out. Gave up a couple of runs. Cardinals led by 3 going into that 9th inning. And this is Nick Senzel. Been dealing with a sore hamstring, so has not been in the starting lineup for the Reds. Came as a defensive replacement. Ball game last night and a pinch runner. Second overall pick in 2016. It's the highest draft pick made by the Reds since they took a shortstop, Kurt Stillwell, you may recall. Second overall pick in 1983. Third baseman by trade, but blocked by Suarez. Played mostly infield in his time in the minors, but has been moved to the outfield since his call up to the big leagues. 1-2 the count. It backs up for a ball. This is a guy that's a second overall pick, and in 6th and 7th grade didn't even play baseball. Dad was transferred to England for work project there, and there was no baseball, so he played rugby and field hockey. Went to a boarding school. Very good athlete. His debut came on May 3rd. And already he's one of 8 players selected in the first round of the 16 draft to make it to the big leagues. Dakota Hudson being another. 3-2 the count on Nick Senzel. And a ground ball. DeYoung to his left, and he makes the play. Always a key, that first out, 2-run lead in the 9th. Gets the first out there.
You're right, it does. And it ends up becoming a really important out. First of all, you've got to get your closer runs in out of the bullpen. Kind of gets him in the game and under control. And that first out is so important. Keep guys off of bases. Keep any threat of a comeback out of the minds of the Cincinnati Reds. We'll give them anything to build on.
Here's LeBarnway, check swing, and he went, strike 1.
Nasty 96-mile-an-hour sinker.
And the 0-1 pitch. Broken bat, slowly hit to Colton Wong. 2 away. Well, you just like to have an uneventful outing for Carlos Martinez. His last 3, he's been dealing with base runners. Runs scored.
Take a look at that sinker. Right off the label of the bat.
Reds down to their final out. It's 3-1 here in the bottom of the 9th. 2 outs. Jesse Winker, the center fielder. Munoz says the pitch was coming home, really shuffling to his left a good 5 to 7 feet. Now really off the line at third. One ball, 1 strike. Again, we're on the air tomorrow at 5:30 from Pittsburgh, PNC Park. And the 1-1 pitch. Reds down to their final strike. Carlos looks sharp, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks much better. Swung quite a few games this week, and that helps your sharpness as long as your arm holds up.
Here's a 1-2 by Martinez. Outside, 2-2. Keep the man on deck right where he's at.
Yes, sir.
Joey Votto. The 2-2 pitch.
This is Carlos' 5th game he's worked in the last 8 days.
The 2-2 pitch by Martinez. Full count.
Hate to state the obvious right here, but you cannot walk him.
Winker takes his time getting back in the box, and now the 3-2. He walked him. Extends the game to Joey Votto. A 2-out walk. Does have a home run, but just the .120 average for Votto against Carlos Martinez. A lot of walks. He represents the tying run. Strike one. Votto a couple of hits today to go along with a couple of strikeouts.
You got to stay away from Joey Votto. Make him hit the ball the other way. If he's going to hit a home run, he's going to have to earn it to left center field, left field. Don't give him anything to pull. Sinkers down and away and up.
Runner goes. Fielder's indifference.
It's not indifferent if he gets thrown out.
Carlos calling time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two strikes. Votto was trying to tie it, wasn't he?
Yeah. Trying to give him a pitch to hit too. I don't understand that. Got to make him hit the ball the other way. That's the lost art with these closers. The old days, they used to just throw the ball, fastballs away, and make you earn it. Nowadays, they're still pitching and giving you a chance to pull the ball for a home run.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside corner, and he strikes out Joey Votto. That ends the game, and the Cardinals take 3 of 4 here in Cincinnati. The final 3-1. What a way to end it.
Yep, nice job right there by Carlos. Good job moving the ball around. The bullpen did a great job today.
And so did that guy right there, Jairo Munoz. Triple, home run, single, drives in 2. Cardinals win it 3-1, and it's a happy flight to the Steel City.